Jake and Tyler had been inseparable since childhood, their lives a tapestry of shared dreams and secrets. Growing up in a small town, they were known to everyone as the dynamic duo, always together whether exploring the dense woods behind their homes or building forts in their backyards. They shared everything from their favorite comics to their wildest dreams of adventures beyond their town's borders. As they transitioned into their teenage years, their bond seemed only to grow stronger. They supported each other through family troubles, school challenges, and first heartbreaks, believing nothing could ever come between them. But life, as it often does, had a twist in store with the arrival of Emily at the start of their sophomore year. Emily, with her sunlit smile and spirited laughter, brought a new energy into their lives. She joined their history class and soon, their lunch table, her easygoing nature making her a fast friend. But it wasn't just her friendliness that drew them in. It was her passion for literature, her clever wit, and the way she saw beauty in the mundane that enchanted them both. Jake noticed Tyler's glances lingering a little too long on Emily and felt an unfamiliar twinge in his stomach. Similarly, Tyler caught Jake writing something on his notebook and realized it was a poem about Emily. Conflicted and confused, they both retreated into unspoken thoughts, each boy wrestling with feelings they feared acknowledging. They started spending less time together, each afraid that a conversation about Emily would confirm their mutual feelings and threaten the foundation of their friendship. Weeks passed, with tension simmering beneath the surface of their interactions. It wasn't until one evening at the old treehouse, where they had spent countless hours plotting their futures, that the air finally cleared. Under the veil of twilight, they spoke honestly, their words heavy with the weight of unvoiced fears. They realized that their friendship was a bond stronger than any fleeting emotion, and promised that no matter what happened with Emily, it would not drive a wedge between them. From that night on, they approached their triangle with open hearts and clear communication, agreeing to let Emily's own feelings guide what came next. Both friends found themselves captivated by her charm, yet neither dared to confess, fearing the potential rift it could create between them. As days turned into months, the unspoken feelings grew stronger, transforming their once solid friendship into a silent battleground. Each day, Jake and Tyler's efforts to win Emily's affection became more elaborate. What had initially begun as lighthearted teasing and subtle compliments quickly morphed into grand gestures and visible one-upmanship. Initially, Jake, the more reserved of the two, would leave small notes in Emily's favorite books, quoting lines that spoke of unrequited love or eternal companionship. Meanwhile, Tyler, always the more extravagant, surprised Emily with impromptu trips to art galleries and theater shows, playing to her cultural tastes. The tension between the two friends began to simmer as each noticed the lengths to which the other would go. Coffee outings became less frequent, and group conversations often ended in awkward silences. Their camaraderie, once the foundation of their trio, started to crack under the weight of their growing rivalry. However, as the stakes got higher, their tactics became more sophisticated and their planning more secretive. Jake enrolled in a cooking class to learn how to prepare Emily's favorite cuisine, hoping to win her heart through culinary delights. Tyler, not to be outdone, began learning to play the guitar, Emily's favorite instrument, hoping that music would be the way to her soul. Jealousy and competitiveness turned their once joyful meetings into calculated encounters, each meticulously planning his moment to shine. Friends around them started to notice the change, observing their transformation from allies to rivals with a mix of concern and disbelief. The climax of this rivalry came during Emily's birthday, where Jake and Tyler both planned elaborate surprises, each hoping to outdo the other. Jake organized a quaint surprise picnic in the park she loved, while Tyler arranged for a flash mob to perform a dance routine to her favorite song in the city square. What started as a friendly competition soon escalated into a fierce rivalry, their actions driven by a mix of affection for Emily and fear of losing her to the other. The tension reached a peak when Emily, overwhelmed by the escalating competition, decided to intervene. She contemplated the rift growing between her two best friends, Jake and Tyler, who had recently been at odds over a business venture that started as a shared dream but was now tearing them apart. The stakes were high, and the pressure was mounting. Aware of the deep bonds that once united them, Emily chose to step in before it was too late. She spent the entire night thinking about what she could say or do to mend the broken threads of their friendship. By dawn, a plan had formed in her mind, clear and resolute. She called both Jake and Tyler, her voice steady yet filled with an urgent plea. "Meet me at the old oak in Greenwood Park at noon. It's important," she said. Greenwood Park had been their sanctuary during their carefree childhood days. It was the place where they had built forts, played endless games of tag, and shared their dreams under the shade of the towering oak tree, their witnessing monument. As noon approached, the sky was clear and the sun cast playful shadows through the leaves of the old oak. Emily arrived first, taking a deep breath as she prepared herself for the challenging conversation ahead. Soon after, Jake and Tyler appeared, their faces tense, mirroring the gravity of the meeting. The three of them sat beneath the oak, the silence heavy. Emily looked at her friends, her heart heavy with sorrow for the potential loss of such treasured relationships. She cleared her throat, her voice trembling slightly as the words poured out. "Jake, Tyler, look at us," she began, her eyes moist with emotion. "We've been through everything together. Remember how we swore right here that nothing would ever come between us? I can't stand watching you two tear each other apart over this." Emily paused, gathering her courage. "I value our friendship too much to be the reason it ends," she confessed. Stunned by Emily's heartfelt words, Jake and Tyler faced a moment of truth. The air was heavy with tension, the kind that could cut through the very fabric of their years-long friendship. Emily's voice, tremulous yet clear, echoed in the small, dimly lit room where the three of them stood, frozen by the weight of the moment. Jake looked at Tyler, his eyes searching for a flicker of understanding. He remembered the first day they met, in the dusty fields of their elementary school, how they'd bonded over a shared love of comic books and misadventure. Those memories seemed like relics from a distant past, now threatened by the complexities of their feelings for Emily. Tyler, whose thoughts were a tumultuous storm, felt a pang of remorse. He pondered over every laugh, every hardship, and every triumph they had shared. It was not just a friendship, but a brotherhood. The thought of losing that over what had now seemed to be a trivial pursuit of affection was suddenly unbearable. Emily stood quietly, her words still lingering in the room, observing the silent conversation between the two. She regretted the turmoil her affections had caused, wishing for nothing more than to rewind and erase the romantic tensions that had escalated. The room felt smaller as each second ticked by, the silence a loud reminder of the decision that hung over them. Jake finally broke the silence, his voice barely a whisper. "I don't want to lose him over this. Over anyone." His admission seemed to lift a weight off Tyler's shoulders, who nodded, a mutual understanding passing between them. They both knew what they had to do. The stakes were too high to let go of a lifetime of camaraderie for a fleeting chapter of romance. It was not about who won Emily's heart anymore, it was about not losing each other. With a mutual nod, they turned back to Emily, their faces a mixture of sadness and resolve. Emily, understanding their unspoken decision, felt a mix of relief and despair. The complexity of human emotions had once again proven its ability to twist destinies in unexpected ways. At that moment, they decided to put their differences aside, choosing the preservation of their bond over the pursuit of romantic love. In the aftermath of that emotional day, the trio found a new equilibrium. The day had been turbulent, filled with misunderstandings and confrontations. It was a day that tested their bonds like never before, bringing hidden feelings and long-buried issues to the surface. But as the sun set, Jake, Tyler, and Emily sat silently, reflecting on the events that had unfolded. It wasn't just about making up. It was about understanding each other on a deeper level. They discussed their thoughts openly, sharing fears and insecurities that they had previously kept hidden. Through this honest exchange, they found a stronger, more resilient union in their friendship. The hours passed, and the air around them seemed to lighten, a silent acknowledgement of their renewed commitment to one another. As they moved forward, they knew they were not just friends by circumstance, but by choice. A choice reinforced by their willingness to face challenges together. They learned that true friendship, unlike fleeting emotions, withstands the toughest of challenges. And so, as they walked away from the park, their steps in sync, they embraced the future with open hearts. They knew no matter what life threw at them, their friendship would endure. For in the end, love comes in many forms, and sometimes the love of a friend is the most powerful and enduring of all.